Kim's my second daughter, and she's a real joy. We just are so happy, and we're also so delighted that this year that she has a chance to work at VIA. It's really made her day.
And through the autism waiver that Denise Romansky at VIA is administering, Kim has opportunities to go in the community and do volunteer work and do exercising and do some fun things with people besides our family, and it gives us a tremendous opportunity to have some respite time to do some of the things that we've put off for years because we really didn't have the time. And to see our daughter, blossoming and just a whole new life now that she feels special and has her self-esteem with her job, it's just transformed our family. Well, it took quite a few years of support from several agencies to try and find Kim a real paying job. Kim has done many volunteer jobs, both in a church office environment, at the public library, which she still does as a volunteer. She has many skills, but to try and actually find a paid position was very difficult, and with the economy in the last few years, it made it even more difficult. But VIA really had the insight to find Kim's abilities rather than her disabilities.
VIA is a nice place to work. I update the blog sites. I do data entry. I file upstairs.
Just think she's so much happier now that she has a job at VIA. And she shared her business card with everyone in the family. She's just been delighted every day that she comes home from work. The first thing she does is pack her lunch for the next day, so that get all her things together. So it's just made her really happy. And she loves working with Tony and getting to meet all the people at VIA. I think it's been, a really exciting thing for her to do something not just, with the family, but to have some of her own friends and acquaintances.
Really helping a lot. Since we retired, we really need help. So Kim has been part of the family income, and just the idea that she can have her own paycheck and go out and shop and buy things is just, really makes her feel special and no longer just a dependent. She's actually a contributor. Kim has got enough abilities to understand. She was getting very, very frustrated with her life, and she just had so many job interviews that just sort of came up dry, or just got, she was second, or there was some downturn or something. She didn't get the job. So I think it was really starting to grain on her psyche, and when she got involved in the job and the autism waiver program, it's just been an amazing transformation, because now she feels important. She has things to do. Every day she gets up knowing what she's going to be doing that day, who she's going to see, and she's excited about life. And that's what I think VIA is, their mission is to find what you can do, what you like to do, and tie those together and make it happen.
What our goal was, basically, with the programs that VIA offered, especially with the community connection, was to get her involved more into the community in a volunteering role, which eventually, hopefully, will lead to some type of employment.
Yeah, by learning a lot of the skills, she will be, could carry that into a working environment.
And it's the ultimate goal with us is not, we like her engaged and involved in the community, whether it's the form of volunteering solely, or it leads to an eventual work experience or work environment. But just to have her engaged into the community, society in general. And I think the skill building and stuff that VIA has provided kind of enables that.
One thing she does with VIA is she is volunteering at a preschool or a daycare center, and she loves the children. She will read stories to them, and she helps them with helping them wash their hands before they eat their lunch and things like that, and she really enjoys that.
And I think as she's going to be starting some volunteer work in a library, which is right in up her alley, so to speak, because with her reading and her books and her love for writing, I think that will really open a little bit more for her because she's so familiar with it and loves that part of it.
I'll help them with reading. They will bring me a book, and I will read to them, and I help with them get the table set for lunch. I to make sure they need to wash their hands. I'll stay with them on the mat in the circle. I'll help them how to. I'll talk with them about how to use their manuals. They do in class, and that's what I do. I like little girls. They're sweet, yet they're loving, caring, and they're kind, and they're smart, and they have a lot of talents. Yeah.
You know, we're extremely happy and pleased with the results that she's attained over the years. And the important part is we've become the advocates, or we have been the advocates since she was a baby and a child and up through those growing years and stuff. And the shift of the self-advocacy is the important part too, that she can advocate in other settings, not just even here, work, school, and that's what we saw emerging, and that's what we're looking to accomplish.
Amanda wants to be that grown-up, responsible young lady, and she wants to get out in the world, and she wants to do all these things. It's just a matter of how does she get there, and VIA provides this. VIA will, get her out there, will, get her doing various volunteer positions, which she hopes, as well as we do, that it leads to a job. And, it makes us feel great to know that she wants to do these things as well. She wants to get out there, and she wants to, be productive, and she wants to work.
She may not live with us entirely the rest of her life. She may. She certainly has the ability to do that. But we'd like her to have that choice. She may want to move in with a friend. She may want to share an apartment. She may want to share other living type arrangements that, to me, those options are available to her with this program, because she has already seen what that involves, and she's independent in and around her own home, more or less. She has her own space, she does her own things, she can do her own laundry, and those are things that are vital to somebody going out on her own at this point.
Right.
That's the important part. I see the independence fully emerging, with her and what it can provide to her. And she's confident. She's built more confidence in her own abilities with being able to do those kind of things instead of having those things done for her.
We found out that we needed speech therapy services. Our son Ethan, 4 years old now, when he was younger, and after about a year old, when most children start babbling, he was never babbling. He was never really cooing. We just thought that he was a very quiet child. and that we had lucked out. However, we realized in talking with our pediatrician and some friends whose children were older that truly there was some delay in speech. So he started early intervention at 16 months old. He started speech therapy, and he also started occupational therapy and special instruction later on down the road. And that's when VIA came into play for us and our family. And our other son, Jacob, was working with Heidi Beck and VIA. We also realized that he had a speech delay, and we were much quicker to recognize it. And he also started speech therapy at 16 months old as well. Communication before speech therapy was relegated to pointing or pulling or pushing, myself or my husband towards something he wanted. And the frustration for such a little guy must have been enormous. Oh, as a parent, you feel that somehow you were a deficit in your parenting, that you didn't reach your child enough, you didn't talk with your child enough. But we know now, and we knew years ago as we learned more about the apraxia, that that certainly wasn't the case. Heidi Beck is a wonderful speech therapist, a wonderful person as well. Heidi first came in, and I will admit, and I don't think I've ever admitted this to Heidi, so this will be a surprise to her. I was very apprehensive about a speech therapist coming in for Jacob. I was a little depressed, a little dismayed, knowing that my second son needed speech therapy, because I knew the challenges and the battles that we were going through with our eldest. But so when Heidi, the first couple sessions she came in, I might not have been the best hostess, but I soon realized that she and Jacob had formed a connection, and that she was going to be a tremendous asset to him learning how to speak. Our sessions with VIA, the speech therapy in our home, were very parent involved, and it was almost like a team approach between the speech therapist and the parent. Teaching the child and working with different sounds, and then trying to string them into words and stringing the words into intelligible sentences. With my eldest son, Ethan, the aha moment was when he was a little over 3 years old, when he first said, "Mama." And that was his first word. And not only hearing it as "Mama," that was probably the most amazing day of my life, for sure. It made me feel wonderful. It made me feel that there was hope, and that there was going to be a path to him speaking naturally and normally as years to come. I shudder to think what would have happened if VIA hadn't come into our life and helped us through early intervention and speech therapy with the boys. It is clear with their diagnosis of apraxia that they need to start therapy early and often, and I'm glad we were hooked into the right agency to help us.
I have a daughter, Melinda Moss. She's been at VIA, she's 42, she'll be 42 in June. I'm sorry, she'll be 43 in June. And she's been at VIA about 21 years. 21 years. She came to VIA right out of high school. Well, she lives in a community living arrangement. So they bring her here to VIA. She lives in a house with 3 other ladies who need help being taken care of, and they drive her to VIA. And then she comes over here, and I believe sometimes she helps put her up her workstation, other times she wants to do it herself. That she has something to do, and that she has a little bit of pride in herself and what she does, and that she can learn things, and she can learn new jobs all the time. It's not just one thing that she has to do all the time, and it's jobs that take her thinking and some of her intelligence, and she loves it. So it's very important that she be here. She's not just a person who graduated from high school and has done nothing else, but she has grown tremendously here at VIA, her skills and her getting along with other people. I think that the people here at VIA are unique people. I really do. And that the way they deal with her is very, very important. I don't know that maybe you could get this at other places, but we have found it really very, very good here at VIA. Well, it just means everything to us. I don't know what we would have done without VIA, really. And the fact that we know she is safe, she's well taken care of, and that she's happy, it affects our whole family. Not just my husband, our siblings too.
any family, you need, you know, 2 incomes coming in. And so with us working, and then once Amanda, you know, graduated high school, this has been, you know, VIA has been a godsend, because VIA understands. VIA knows what our daughter needs. And, you know, we're grateful that we have someone like VIA that can provide this for us. And it eases our minds, you know, during the day that, you know, while we're at work, she does have a place to go and something to do. And it makes her happy as well.
The great thing with Ethan is sometimes we forget that he was a quiet little boy still searching for his voice, because he employs it so well now.
As much as we try to provide support, everyone knows that your parents are only good for so much, and she needed that. She needed all these things to really pull her life together. So it's been a godsend. It's really been wonderful.
We would just like to say thank you to all the people at VIA for everything that they provided to our family and our daughter.
Really appreciate all that they've done, and we thank everyone from Corey on down, because I think the organization really does stand up for people and change their lives.
And you want all your children to be happy. She's no different.